Today's topic, we got a video from Jimmy Kimmel, all right?
I hope you had a relaxing Labor Day. It was not a fun Labor Day weekend COVID-wise. The number of new cases is up more than 300% from a year ago. Dr. Fauci said that if hospitals get any more overcrowded, they're going to have to make some very tough choices about who gets an ICU bed. That choice doesn't seem so tough to me. Vaccinated person having a heart attack? Yes, come right on in. We'll take care of you. Unvaccinated guy who gobbled horse goo? Rest in peace, Wheezy. We still got a lot of pandemwits out there.
I don't know what happened when late night TV shows just became the mouthpiece for mainstream media, but it's frightening. When people get up on public platforms and like media personalities and newscasters, you see very like even public officials have said some iteration of this. You have to sit back and think, what do you think this does for public discourse? When you say, well, if that's your stance, then you deserve to die by the side of the street. What do you think that does when you want to say something to that person's benefit? And you be like, guys, this is what you need to do. It's going to be good for you. Do you think they're ever going to listen to you? You just said, go die by the side of the street. I don't give a fuck. We're going to give a bed. So, we've become so tribal about this whole incident that, you see Joe Rogan and you see him getting COVID.
Hello, friends. So I got back from the road Saturday night, feeling very weary. I had a headache and I just felt run down. And just to be cautious, I separated from my family, slept in a different part of the house. And throughout the night, I got fevers and sweats, and I knew what was going on. So I got up in the morning, got tested, and turns out I got COVID.
And people were like, fucking great. And we were just hoping, they're salivating at the opportunity that he might die after all the stuff that he said on his podcast. We've gotten so extreme with this stuff that even mainstream news just get out here saying, oh, horse dewormer, Joe Rogan takes... Like, they're spreading fake news and they don't even care. Why? Because it appeals to their tribalistic instincts.
Yeah.
We are pulling at extremes so hard with this thing, and then afterwards we're wondering why the other side doesn't trust or they're not participating. You have never fostered an environment where people can really come together and feel like they can trust each other. The moment these disagreements extend themselves, rather than try to bridge that gap, people just pull on these extremes. Our media is failing us in ways I can't explain. Again, you're looking at two people who are vaccinated. And I'm looking at this dialogue and I'm like, what? You motherfuckers are crazy. This vaccine passport, nonsense. This dialogue that y'all having, nonsense. And I thought it so funny that he started his little monologue by mentioning Dr. Fauci. Big ass fraud as well. Lying to Congress about the fact that these people funded the research that potentially led to this whole pandemic. There's a lot to be said about the way this conversation is going. It's crazy to watch from me on the outside. People who be out here talking about, oh, lives are precious, all this other stuff. Oh, is that your decision? Die. When it comes to topics like these, oftentimes they get deranked because we even mention COVID or this pandemic. So, yeah, if you want to help support us, like and comment, all right? It helps us boost us up in the algorithm. It gets these kind of topics more to the forefront, and that's how you guys can help us beat the algorithm in ways. Yeah, it's interesting hearing the left really expose itself a lot during this dialogue. You think about the unvaccinated, per capita, minorities are very overrepresented. And I did an extensive video on why, minorities have issues with the healthcare system and the lack of trust, and it goes to extent even to this vaccine. There's a lot of hesitancy there due to history, right?
See?
And it's interesting hearing this man out here crying. Jimmy Kimmel loves to cry on camera. Cries for minorities, cries for people suffering.
Oh, I remember that.
Right?
Oh.
He loves his tears. He loves his tears. And here you have that same shared history contributing to the problem today in regards to vaccine hesitancy. And all of a sudden, his compassion for people who sometimes maybe they're victims of misinformation. Sometimes maybe they're just victims of history. Or sometimes maybe they're victims of their own ignorance. It could be a plethora of things. But rather than approach it from a compassionate standpoint, it's no, go die, right? Black lives matter when it's expedient, but Black lives don't matter when it comes to this vaccine business. So it's interesting watching this dialogue unfold. There's a lot of hypocrisy involved and a lot of ignorance on the part of people who think they're in the know and on the right side of history. Turns out they don't know their history. So it's disappointing. Well, if you don't want to take the vaccine, fine. That's your choice. But if you end up going to the hospital and you get COVID, then die. Let's say I grant you that you're correct, your stance is the right one, and that these people are completely in the wrong, right? They are being negligent. Is it really going to be people's stance that because folks are negligent, they don't deserve treatment? Really? Is that what we're going to do?
That's what we're gonna do. Let's do it. You don't want to do it?
So if you get in a DUI and you crash, don't deserve to be helped.
Nope.
If you're handling a firearm and you shoot yourself, don't deserve to be helped. Just die.
Nope. That's you.
Really?
Yeah.
And look, you may not have sympathy for these people, I understand, but are we really trying to say that healthcare shouldn't be afforded to these people? They shouldn't be helped? You just let them die?
Let them die.
Now,
If he dies, he dies.
there's an extra layer of this where people say, no, we're not saying that. But if the hospital beds are overloaded and we got to choose between vaccinated people and unvaccinated people as we have to triage, where they'll make sure the vaccinated... Listen, you know, when you got to make tough decisions about who gets health care and who gets to live versus who doesn't, if your criteria is whether they're vaccinated or not, sorry, but that's a poor criteria.
Why is it?
Because I think there's a lot of things you should run down through before you choose whether they should be vaccinated or not. Health concerns. Is this person really healthy or are they chronically sick? Should I save an 80-year-old vaccinated person versus a 20-year-old who's unvaccinated? You know, these are like much more important questions than vaccine versus not. And listen, you know, granted, if I gave you the most perfect scenario and it's like 20-year-old versus 20-year-old, one's vaccinated, one's not, there's only one ICU bed. Okay, maybe in that scenario I could understand. But that's not the way this talk is going whatsoever. It's really not. At the end of the day, I think it's a stupid way to look at this issue. I understand people feel very strongly about this. They think it's a very serious issue. But now we've gotten to a point in public discourse. You remember initially, it's like everyone do what we can to save old folks, right? Sacrifice, which is a part of it, right? It's the compassionate thing to do. And then, I don't like your choices. Well, fuck you, Dan.
You know what the
It's just such a crazy trade. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's just such a crazy... Remember, there's people at the beginning who are just like, man, fuck old people.
But you know what the thing is?
It's crazy. It was
When
the transition.
when motherfuckers are righteous like that,
Yeah.
when they righteous like that, you just gotta give it a little bit of time
Yo.
for the thing to, like, you know.
See
If it was lasting too,
we'll
if
see.
it was
You gotta
lasting
test the
too,
values a little bit.
yeah, test the value. The hardest, I saw this meme the other day and it was a great meme. Is, you know what's the hardest thing about the 2 weeks
Yeah.
to flatten the curve?
Yeah.
The first 18 months. It's all good to be righteous. It's only gonna last 2 weeks. But now it's been 18 months. So now you see motherfuckers being tired and be like, you know what, enough with this. Kill him. And him.
Yeah.
And him.
Yeah.
And it's coming from it's coming from a person that
Maybe he is vaccinated or not. I don't care.
He's
but
definitely vaccinated.
Yeah, but peep game. You have to understand why like certain people are vaccinated as well, right? Certain people like him, he gets vaccinated. If shit goes south, he has the means to help himself. You understand what I'm saying? Let's say he has a vaccine and shit goes south. He could go to a hospital, private care. As a matter of fact, he don't even need to go to a hospital. The hospital can come to him. He has the funds and the means for that. So when you take your advices from people, from the stars, the music industry, entertainment industry that got the funds, and it's not really gonna affect them. It's like whenever back in the pandemic, people were saying, all these big ass stars were saying, yeah, stay home, help the people. And I was just thinking to myself, it's easy for you to stay home when you got a pool, a basketball court, a tennis court, 7 cars, a maid, the bank account to stay home, a cinema inside your house, a bowling alley. It's easy for you to say that. You got the means. And it's not gonna stay home. It's not the same thing as you that is, yeah, you got 5 kids, but I'm talking hypothetical. Yeah, you got 5 kids, but you got 3 nannies. It's not the same thing if you stay home than a single mother with 3 kids. But you know what? She did make her choices. So oops, too bad for her. Or a single dad. Oh well, you should have chose better. If things go south, they have much more means than you to get help. They get private help. So be careful who you think. Yeah, get that guy. You're not gonna get help. Well, you're gonna bypass all of that shit and get premium help. So it's easy for you to say that.
Yeah,
Easy.
yeah.
Even and I'm saying because I recognize that I am also in a position of privilege where I could tell people, yeah, get this, get that, but I also have, certain amount of money that I could bypass certain things. So be careful who you take those messages from as well.
Jimmy Kimmel, I mean, he's been a sellout for a hot minute, so it's not too surprising. But I didn't expect this low.
You didn't? Like you
Go
saw
die?
this, you saw this, and you
From the crier who talks about people
Yeah.
dying, go die? No. But you know what, Priest? That's your thing. You expect the worst out of everybody. That's your thing. Listen, I'm gonna be honest with you. I started a video and I'm like, oh, there's this thing that happened. You're surprised? Like,
yeah, I do know, but I do.
That's
I
every
do.
video.
But I do. You're
Yeah.
right. You're absolutely right.
Yeah.
Cause
That's your thing.
I lost faith in a lot of shit.
But you look at me like I'm crazy though.
No, it's not that you're crazy.
Yeah,
it's
you
just
like-
that you got a lot of fucking wit. You like you see shit. Sometimes you see shit I don't see. Oftentimes you see shit that I don't see.
Yeah.
And see this guy that was crying and you saw the tears and you was like, I saw you see the tears. And you was like, really? You know what I mean? So it's just because of that. But you're absolutely 100% on that. I see the worst I expect the worst out of everybody. Is it because I'm dead inside? Is it because I seen shit? Is it because I don't
know, bro.
I don't know what it is. I don't know.
I'll be like,
I don't
yeah,
know.
man, they got robbed by gunpoint by the cartel on a roadblock. Yeah.
That's what they be, that's what the cartel be doing. But that's what the cartel be doing. You've seen the news? It's out here.
You made me laugh though. But that's pretty much the extent of what I got,
I do expect the worst out of everybody.
Yeah, literally the start of every video, first 30 seconds, I play a clip and I'm like, yeah, shocking.
You know what?
Shocking?
I'll do better.
What's shocking is that you're shocked.
I'll do better.
It's all good.
I'll do better.
I find it funny.
I'll do better.
But that's pretty much all of my thoughts on this video.
It's pretty much all you got on this video?
Don't go the opposite. Don't be a drama. But anyways, let us know what you guys think in the comments below. So, that's it, man. Hope you guys enjoyed it.